Good day, everyone. Welcome to the UFC 200 conference. Today's call is being recorded. At this time, I'll turn things over to Dave Scholler. Please go ahead, Dave.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the UFC 200 media conference call. UFC 200, Saturday, July 9th at the new T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, live on pay-per-view, 10 p.m. East, 7 p.m. in the West. An outstanding call we have lined up for you today. We are joined by former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar, number 8 heavyweight contender Mark Hunt, and then for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world, it's light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier and interim champion Jon Jones. With that being said, let's go ahead and take the first question.
And at this time, if you do have a question, that will be *1.
You can go ahead with Daniel Cormier from Boston Herald.
Thanks very much, guys. First question is for Brock. Brock, do you think how you look in this fight will have any bearing at all on your drawing power in pro wrestling?
I really don't give a shit.
Okay. Now, when it comes to Mark, do you think that when he says he's going to knock your face off, that's relying too much on a punching chance and not accounting enough for the wrestling?
It's a fight. Anything can happen. So I'm sure Mark's prepared for just about anything, and so am I. I mean, we're all professional athletes here. Everybody to go ahead and have, I would hope not, you know.
Thank you very much. Question for Jon. Jon, is the Jon Jones who had those taunts for Daniel Cormier on ESPN before you went on the air back then before the first fight, is that Jon Jones still there at all, and might we see him come out in the cage?
I'm definitely the same fighter. Definitely the same fighter. Like, I don't really think that the pre-fight hype or the storyline has much to do with the way I perform. You know, I've had a lot of guys that I fought or don't like, and I go out there and I finish them. Then I have guys that I do like that I fight, and I go out there and I finish them guys. So I don't think the pre-fight hype has much to do with the way I perform.
Okay. Do you have any different goals in terms of how this fight plays out in your mind versus the first one, or is it likely to look the same, do you think?
My main goal is to make the fight look easier than it did the first time. Whether it's a finish, you know, obviously a finish would be great, but I just want to make the fight look a lot easier than it did the first time. I believe that it will be.
And Daniel, where's your head at as far as the Jon Jones you're expecting after all that's happened and the Oven St. Preux fight and being so close to the fight now? What's your assessment?
Daniel, are you still on the line?
Yeah, I'm here. Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can repeat that, Daniel.
Yeah.
You didn't hear me. Okay, sorry. What, having seen Jon fight Oven St. Preux, all that's happened with Jon since the first fight you guys had and being so close to the fight now, what's your assessment of the opponent you expect to face and if it contrasts at all to the first one you fought?
He'll be tough. He'll always be tough. He's a good fighter. But, nothing's free. Nothing's free. So, the Jon that showed up against Oven St. Preux is the guy that's going to be in the octagon on July 9th. That is who he is today. Nothing's free, man. So, all the other stuff, all the partying, all the other stuff, you have to pay for that. And now we are seeing him where it's time to pay the cost. He's paying for all the outlandish living and burning that candle at two ends. And now we're getting to the middle where it starts to die out. So we'll see the same guy. That's just who he is today. He's not the guy before. He may be 20, 28 years old in reality, but he's lived on this earth much longer with the long nights and all the other stuff that he's done.
Where do you come up with this craziness?
Yeah, that's okay.
It's the truth. I mean, you've been burning that candle at both ends for a long time. For a long time. You have been burning the candle. Hey, Go ahead. I'll let
where
you
was
talk,
your
actually.
candle
Go
at?
ahead.
Where was your candle at when I beat you the first time? What?
Where was my what? Where was my
Where
what?
was your candle? Why was your candle out when I beat you the first time?
My candle? Well, I don't burn the candle.
Why was your
both ends.
candle
You
out
just
when I beat you the first time?
Hey, you beat me the first time. You just beat me. You just beat me the first time.
Why was your candle out? Why was your candle out? Since why was yours
hey,
out then?
Listen, I've lived life, and I've been here longer. So yes, in age I'm 37, but I'm 37. I haven't burnt it at both ends to become a middle-aged man at 28 years old. That's you today. You're that slow guy that was in the octagon on April 23rd that looks like garbage.
You still have an answer.
You're the guy.
You still have an
answer.
You
beat me the first time. You won, so you burned my candle.
And somehow your candle's relit? I don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get this.
Much better. Much better.
You're dumb, dude.
Much better.
Next question.
Much better.
I'm all set, guys. Thanks.
We'll hear from David Martin, Fox Sports.
Yeah, first question is for Brock. Brock, I know, obviously this fight was just announced at this point a matter of weeks ago. At what point did you start training again? Like, did you have an idea you were coming back? Like, how long of a training camp have you actually had to get ready for this return?
Not very long. I didn't know. I wasn't sure if it was even going to happen. So, I mean, I don't remember the date. But I've been training 4 or 5 weeks. And before my call to Dana, I wasn't even sure if this thing was going to happen at UFC 200. We had talked and maybe thought we could maybe put something together by November for New York. But, I'll fight whenever the money's right. And we took it to the 11th hour, and that's where we're at. So it is what it is.
I know you said when the fight first got signed, I know Paul Heyman has commented on this as well, that, right after you decided to retire and re-sign with WWE, almost immediately you had that regret a little bit as you wanted to fight again. I mean, now that you have this fire back and you're about to fight in a week from now, I mean, do you feel like this is one and done, or do you feel like you are going to fight more than this?
I don't know. I feel really good. Training camp is going great. I'm happy. I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with everything. And yes, since I left the octagon after I got beat by Overeem, and kind of forced out of the cage because of my illness, it haunted me for a long time. So, well, what do you do? Here I am, and before it's too late, I want to get back in the cage and have some fun with it. This is all about having fun. I'm not looking past this fight. I'm just taking one day at a time, one training session at a time, and looking forward to July 9th. I'm grateful that Mark Hunt took the fight, and it was short notice for me and him. So we'll see what happens on the 9th.
And obviously, Brock, I know you've dealt with, with questions about performance-enhancing drugs your entire career. That's nothing new. You've had to answer those questions. But I'm kind of curious, your reaction to some of the stuff that Mark has said, even if you've seen it, where he said that, he believes you've been juicing your whole life, and he had questions about USADA testing you. I mean, what is your reaction? Is that just kind of more of what you've always heard?
I've been dealing with that my entire life. I'm a white boy, and I'm jacked. Deal with it. It's so flat. So what do you want me to say? I'm a white boy and I'm jacked. Deal with it.
And last question for you, Brock. I know that one of the things that your friend Paul Heyman had said going into this fight was, you are a rare athlete. Not many people, not anybody can really do what you do to fight at UFC 200 and then turn around and promote an event like SummerSlam a month later. And he kind of compared you to Conor and Ronda. Do you agree with that statement? Do you believe that you are kind of a once in a lifetime kind of performer that could do both things, that could fight one day and then go around and sell a WWE show the next?
Well, I feel really grateful that I can. I'm not comparing myself to anybody. What Paul Heyman says on my behalf, let me clue you in. Paul Heyman's my agent on fake television. He's not my agent for the UFC. So I haven't really followed much of anything. I never have. I don't have a Twitter account. I don't have Facebook. It is what it is. To me, it's all BS. So right now I'm trying to enjoy this and, make every memory I can, because the lasting memories I had in the cage weren't really fun, because I was sick. I had surgery. I deal with that. Coming back from that, I was worn out. I was tired. But now I feel rejuvenated. I feel healthy. I feel grateful for the opportunity, and here we are.
And one quick question for Jon Jones. Jon, you've talked a lot about how you've cleaned up your life and you've gotten kind of back on the right path, after everything that happened in the last year and a half of your life. But obviously you were on top of the world as that guy. You were out, partying and doing kind of some of the crazy things you were doing and still being the best fighter in the world. How has that mentality shifted? Because, you see it in some athletes, they need that outside outlet. We saw with Tiger Woods. When he stopped being crazy, he wasn't the same golfer anymore. I mean, do you see any of that? Have you faced any of that reality of you are a different guy now and how that may affect you inside the cage?
Yeah, I'm definitely the same guy that I've always been. I just live my life slightly different. I still go out. I still have a great time. I still have great friends. I just don't indulge in illegal substances and partying like that anymore. Still the same guy. I had one bad performance, and now everyone's like questioning, who I am and all this weird stuff. I'm excited to go out there and just have a great fight. I realized that the open fight was my fight to finish someone. It's been a long time since I've gotten to finish, and I wasn't able to pull that off, but I'm still dominating everybody that I've ever competed against, and I'm excited to go out there and do it again.
Thanks very much.
We'll hear now from Marissa Payne, The Washington Post.
Hi, I have a question, or a couple questions, I guess, for Brock. So you've said a couple of times, you've alluded to the fact that, this is going to be a big payday for you. But I mean, obviously you can make money in other ways too. So I assume that you're coming back as well to either prove something or, because you just like competition. I guess, is there something in that regard too about competition that you love?
Well, absolutely. I've been an athlete since I was 5 years old. I love this sport. I believe that I was meant to be a fighter and an entertainer, and absolutely, it's one of those things for me that I want to get back in. Like I said, it's no mystery that I was forced out of this competition because of an illness I had, and I tried to be the competitor that I wanted to be. But it's kind of hard to do when you have a disease and you fight back from it, and yeah. So I'm in a whole different spot with mentally and physically in my life right now. And before I became a 40-year-old man, I want to get back in the cage. I mean, I'm fighting a 42-year-old guy. The guys in the heavyweight division are the average age is 35, 36 years old. So. It is what it is. I'm a competitor, and I'll be a competitor probably in a nursing home and racing my wheelchair around probably.
Yeah, speaking of getting older then, looking back, how would you like people to remember you? Obviously you have, a whole different set of fans in WWE. There's some crossover, but, you have your WWE fans and your UFC fans, and they see you in, a little bit two different ways. One is the entertainer and one is the competitor. Which one do you want to be more remembered by?
Honestly, lady, I really don't care. This isn't about me or about my fans. This is about me living my life, being the person that I want to be. I mean, granted, without the fans and everything, none of us would be able to do this. I get that, but I'm not. I don't sit up at night wondering, is my drawing power going to be hurt, or is my WWE fans going to tune in and watch me do this? I don't give two shits about that. This is about me. I want to get in there and be an athlete again. That's what it's about.
Got it. And then for Mark, how do you feel going into this fight? As far as you obviously haven't had the break that Brock has had. So you've been training while he's been doing other things. Like, do you feel good going in?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I feel great actually. I've been here a couple of weeks now, and I'm just looking forward to finishing training and going to work. It's great to be here in Las Vegas. It's really hot though.
Got it.
We'll move next to Justin Barrasso with Sports Illustrated.
Thank you. Brock, question for Brock Lesnar. Curious in terms of your training. I'm guessing they're different, it's apples to oranges. But any similarities? Obviously, I know the world of pro wrestling is far different than the world of mixed martial arts. But any similarities between your training methods, or when you train in the octagon and the cage, is it a totally different beast than when you train for pro wrestling?
Absolutely. It's not even the same thing, man. It's I've really never left training MMA. Any chance I can to grapple or to do jiu-jitsu or to hit mitts or whatever, I never really, because I have a true passion for the sport. I love the sport. So, it's just, I did it just to pass time and to stay in shape. But no, to compare the two, to be in wrestling shape, pro wrestling shape versus fighter shape, not even on the same planet.
And you've always embraced the challenge. It's so strange to think of Brock Lesnar as an underdog, but Mark Hunt's had 9 fights in your 5 years away from the cage. Does it light your fire? Does it give you a little bit more spark and motivation, the fact that people are doubting you? That's got to fill up your belly with a little bit of extra fire.
I like any true competitor. There really isn't. I haven't given much thought to it at all. The longer, I've tried to knock the rust off here in the last 5 weeks. I'm going to show up and be the best guy that I possibly can be on the 9th of July. So, and he's been putting food on the table for the last 5 years, getting in the octagon. So, and I've been doing it in a different way. It's just, I think we're in for a really good fight. I'm sure Mark is preparing himself the best that he can, and just as I am.
And Brock, my last question. There's been reports that arm wrestling match, that Vince McMahon, you beat him, that allowed you to come back. That was the agreement if you beat him in arm wrestling. We've heard reports that he's claiming it took you a while to beat him. Any truth to that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It actually took two arms to beat Vince McMahon. I actually had to beat him with two versus one.
Thank you.
We'll hear next from Dave Diebert, Post Media News.
Hi, you guys. Thanks for the time. Just a quick one for Brock. You've talked a lot about being in a good place, physically and mentally. I'm wondering about life for you on the farm. And specifically in Saskatchewan, where you've set up a second home. What is it about life there that appeals to you and that's treating you apparently pretty well?
Well, that's my primary residence in Saskatchewan, and it's just I've set that up to raise my family. Kind of. I love Canada. Well, I love the United States, but I love Canada and the aspects of what it has to offer for hunting and fishing, and I just happen to find a place that I really love, and my family loves. And that's what this is all about. In the end, you could ask any of the three guys that are on the line here. I'm sure we're all family men. We're no different. Everybody gets up and puts their pants on the same way. And if any man is a stand-up guy, they're a family man. And so that's who I am. That's who I am. At the end of the day, this is just a job. And this is what we do. This is how we put food on our family's table, and we enjoy it. It's kind of funny, but we enjoy hitting people, and we enjoy getting hit, and I feel very fortunate to be able to have this job.
Again, going back to a lot of stuff that you talked about, you growing up on the farm and the work ethic that it instilled in you. I gather it's quite important for you to pass that on to your family as well. Is that safe to say?
Oh, 100%. You know, I don't want to raise my kids in the city. I want them to know what a good day of honest day's work is. You know, get out and I want them to know what it's like to throw square bales all day. I want them to know what it's like to pick rocks all day, get the rocks out of the field. Yeah, my kids, there's no easy way out for my kids. They're going to have to earn their keep because too many kids nowadays, I think, life's just too easy. Life's at the palm of their hands with their phones. Everything's accessible. Not in my house.
All right. Thank you for the time, Brock.
Once again, that is star one for questions. We'll move next to Mark Raimondi, SB Nation.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time out today. First question for Daniel. How different do you feel going into this fight? There was so much controversy last time with when you guys fought at MGM. There was of course the ESPN behind the scenes thing that got aired. How different do you feel going into this fight now?
I feel a lot different. You know, there are a number of reasons why the first fight was very tough for me. Obviously, you know, he did a great job in winning the fight, but there was a lot that went into the fight to begin with. You know, all the drama outside of the octagon. I let that stuff consume me. You know, it was driving me. I wanted to fight the guy. I mean, I would see the guy in the hotel, I would try to fight him. I would see the guy at the press conference, I would try to fight him. I would try to fight the guy every time I laid eyes on him. Now I've seen Jones on a number of occasions, and I've not made an attempt to try and go at him in that way because I know that in order to get the job done July 9th, I have to be in a good place. There was a lot of pressure in terms of trying to become the champion, here and new champion. Done that already. Hurt and still champion. That's already done. Now it's just a chance to go out there and fight a guy that beat me. I don't care about all the other stuff. I feel at ease. I feel at peace. I'm so confident, man. I feel good in my training. Everything has lined up perfectly for me to go out there and right the only wrong in my career.
Thanks, Daniel. And for Mark, this fight kind of came together late in the game. It was only about 3-4 weeks ago when the UFC announced it. How did this come together for you? Did they call you? Did you offer to fight Brock when you knew he was coming back? How did that work?
I was just told about the fight, and I'm always down to take a fight on, especially someone like Brock. He's such a big name in entertainment, and to be put on the biggest card of the year, or probably history, I'd say, it's great news for Mark Hunt, and being 42 in there, so I appreciate the call up, and I'm looking forward to be dancing with Big Brock on July the 9th. So, yeah.
Thanks, Mark. And just lastly for Brock, everyone's saying that Mark is going to be a very tough test for you. He's one of the best knockout artists in the division. How do you feel about Mark? What do you think of his game, and what do you think of his strengths and weaknesses?
Winning. For sure he is. Yeah. For sure he's a knockout. He's a heavy hitter. I'm preparing to not take one of those shots, to try to answer that and to win this fight.
Some people have said, Brock, that Mark is kind of a bad matchup for you because he's so good at stand-up, he's so good at striking, and that's been one of your weaknesses in the past. How do you respond to those criticisms?
Oh, man. Is he better than I am at stand-up? Of course he is. Is he a better wrestler than me? Hell no. And he'll probably tell you that too. So, I mean, that's why we're fighting. We're going to see who the best man is with their discipline, on the night. Of course.
And then just last thing for you, Brock, and I'll let you guys go. Stephanie McMahon was quoted this week in an interview saying that that WWE was not necessarily supporting this fight and you fighting in UFC. What does that mean exactly, and what does that mean to you?
That they're not supporting it?
She said, "We're not necessarily supporting it." Those were her words.
I don't know. I don't care what she says.
All right, guys. Thanks very much.
We'll hear now from Jim Edwards, Mirror UK.
Yeah, hi. My first question is for Daniel Cormier. Daniel, obviously UFC 200 is going to be the biggest UFC event ever. There's going to be a lot of new people tuning in next Saturday night. For people that haven't seen all the previous that's gone on between you and Jon Jones, could you briefly summarize what is it exactly that you don't like about Jon Jones? Why do you guys not see eye to eye?
Man, a lot of the things that I did not like about Jon, honestly, was stuff that had nothing to do with what he did in the octagon. Inside of the octagon, I've always thought he was, as good as they come. All the personal stuff and the issues, not even in regards to me, a lot of it was just in regards just in life. I just always kind of was like, man, how, and why? But now it's like, man, Jim, I finally gotten to the point where it's like, who the hell am I to try to make Jon pay for his crimes against society in the world? What do I care? He can be as much of a loose cannon or whatever you want to call him in his life. I don't care. And ever since I've been able to let go of that, it's allowed me to prepare better. It's allowed me to find a better state of mind for myself. It's allowed me to actually go into this fight without feeling as though I am carrying some sort of pressure to actually make this guy pay for the thing. I don't care, and all the stuff, honestly, that it was before, a lot of the stuff was to do with stuff just outside of the octagon. It's like I just could not understand how a person that had so much to lose was willing to toss it all away. But now I really don't care, to be honest with you. So it's like all the stuff that happened in the past, that's all in the past to me. I'm getting ready to fight, so that's what matters to me now. I'm not holding on to all that other shit. I don't need to carry all the weight of everybody else on my shoulders going into the octagon. I'm going out there to fight for Daniel Cormier, my family, and the people at the American Kickboxing Academy. And when I do that, I've always won. So you don't learn from your mistakes, man. You're destined to make the same mistake again. I'm an adult. I learned from my mistakes. I'm not doing the same thing again.
Great stuff. Thanks, Daniel. Jon,
the reason why you lost the first time is because you were carrying the weight of the world because of my treble that happened after our fight?
No. Well, so we're ignoring. Are we ignoring everything you did before the fight too? Are we just?
Okay.
So
my DWI back in 2012.
All the stuff is me. It's like, but guess what though, Jon? It doesn't matter. You can fuck up as much as you want. I don't care. I'm just going to fight to beat you.
But
I'm going to beat you because you beat me.
It's the reason why you lost the fight.
All the run-ins we had before, everybody coming up to me telling, everybody coming up to me telling me shit like, God, I can't wait for you to beat Jon Jones. Please beat Jon Jones. He said, all right, I got it. People walking up, DC, you got to beat.
Oh, that's part of why you lost. Okay.
No, you won the fight. I don't understand what you're doing. You're trying to make it seem like I'm searching for excuses. That's not an excuse. I'm telling you, I carried too much emotion into that fight. I'm not doing that again. I'm not looking for an excuse. Hey, Jon, you want Jon? Okay, here you go, Jon. Let me see you go, Jon.
You could handle the role of being the Punisher.
Hey, Jon, let me. Hey, Jon, here you go. Let me stroke your ego a little bit. Hey, Jon, if you don't remember, you beat me the first time we fought. There you go. Is that better? Now you happy? You won, Jon.
No, we don't know that on this call, Daniel.
Okay, Jon. Then what are you looking for me to stroke you for? I don't need to stroke your ego.
No, I don't need to stroke your ego. Just your answer made no sense. You were saying
it makes perfect.
You wanted to punish me for everything I had done, and that was too much pressure.
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense. Too much pressure, and now you're fighting me out of love. But before
I'm not fighting. No, actually, I do not love you.
Daniel. All the trouble that I got into happened after. But anyway.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, John, I do not love you. I absolutely do not love you at all.
Come on, DC. Are you sure you don't love him? Come on, man.
Hey, listen, hey, boys, I actually do not love Jon Jones.
If I was Daniel Cormier, I would have loved me.
I don't love you, John. But good try.
Jim Edwards, are you still on the line with your next question?
Yeah, just about. Okay. John.
Love you, Jim.
Jon Jones. Daniel Cormier has referred to a few times that if the same guy who fought Ovince Peru turns up at UFC 200, that he's going to win. How many kind of more gears do you kind of believe there are for you to step up through and I guess defeat Daniel on next Saturday?
I see my 18th fight in the UFC. 1 out of 18. I've had one bad fight out of 18. So, I feel as if my career is not a coincidence. It's not luck. I'm consistent with my output. So against Daniel Cormier, I'll rise to that occasion, and I'll bring the proper things that I need to do to win that fight. Ovince Peru didn't put any pressure on me. A lot of people are saying I didn't do much, but what did Ovince do? He did nothing. He didn't come at me at all. But we had a sparring match. If Ovince would have brought the heat, if he would have been throwing haymakers, shooting in, throwing high kicks and low kicks and forcing me to fight, then I would have fought him at that pace. He never put me in the corner. He never forced me to fight. So I coached it. So I'm really excited to show that his levels, and sometimes a bad fighter will make a good fighter not look good. I think that's what happened. I think I fought down to his level. I had a sparring match out there with him, and now the world is questioning my game. I'm glad that DC's questioning my game. I'm glad that he thinks I'm a lesser version of myself. That actually works in my favor.
Great, good stuff.
I'm glad. Well, at least you finally. I mean, I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of shit for saying Ovince wasn't a very good fighter, but at least you could say it too. You say Ovince was a good fighter. Finally, you said he wasn't a good fighter, so you fought down to his level. Great job, John. We respect Ovince.
You're losing it,
the Warriors code. The Warriors code. The Warriors code of respect, John. Great job, buddy.
Okay, my last question is for Brock Lesnar. Brock, just kind of listening to all this tonight on this conference call, have you kind of missed this? Have you kind of, missed the kind of, the competitiveness that you get with the UFC?
I find it amusing. It's funny. It's good. It's a good time. Absolutely.
And just one last question for you, Brock. You were saying that you haven't been on, you don't take part in social media, you're not really connected into the world that way. What is kind of the reaction that you've had from people, from like your family, your friends, your co-workers, I guess, at the WWE? What have they said about you coming back to the Octagon next Saturday night?
I really haven't had any contact with anybody from the WWE, but my family, and the only people I really care about is the people that are close to me. Everybody's supporting this. Everybody is 100% behind it. They see that I'm committed to it, and I'm happy, and that's all that matters.
Great stuff, gentlemen. See you next week.
Our last question will be from Lance Pugmire, the Los Angeles Times.
Hey guys, Brock, first of all for you, I know you talked about, your decision to come back to the UFC was made over having a cup of coffee up in Canada. But was there anything that happened while competing in the WWE or maybe seeing some UFC fights on TV that really kind of stoked those fires as well that, look, I need to come back?
Really, no. I pondered for a while, and I don't know, it just took... literally, I was sitting there one day on my property and thought, it's time. It's just I can't sit and think about this and be caught up in this thought process, wanting or wishing and wondering if I should do it. And I'm the person that pulls the trigger. I'm the guy that doesn't. I don't want any regrets. So That's how simple it really was. I just didn't want. I don't want to be spending the rest of my days on this earth wondering why I didn't step back in the cage again. So here we are.
Yeah, and if the outcome that you, I'm sure, envisioned happens, what happens from here?
I really haven't. I haven't given it much thought. I really haven't. I mean, nothing's going to change, really. I'm looking forward to just stepping in the cage again. It's going to be. I'm waiting for that moment for the door to shut. We'll see. Ask me after the fight. Hell, I don't know what's going to happen. You know. So right now, I got one thing on my mind, and that's to prepare for this fight, finish this week up, and get in and fight.
Okay, great. And Daniel, I did have one question for you, Daniel. I mean, clearly there's been times where you've sort of taken the moral high ground in this thing with Jon. Is there any regret about doing so, given some of the feedback you've received from the fans?
No, because of who I am as a person. That is the approach I will always take. I am an adult. I am not one to kick someone when they are down. If anything, I think that any upstanding citizen, any good person would do the same thing. So yes, I don't regret it. I would not change a thing. I would still do the same thing that I've always done.
Do the things that you have said about Jon, will those will those be things that we see will affect the outcome of the fight?
Yeah, I do believe that. I do believe that the changes in him will affect the outcome of the fight, but I do also believe that the strongest indicator is going to be that I've gotten better. I've done things to improve myself. So even if he was 10 times better than he was last January, I don't believe that's going to be enough to beat me on July 9th.
Great. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
And, gentlemen, we do have a question from George Willis with the New York Post.
Hello, gentlemen. I just wanted to ask Jon, he was one of the couple of fighters that fought at UFC 100, and just some general thoughts about how the sport has grown from that time, from UFC 100 to 200, and the way it's just blown up.
Yeah, UFC 100, man, what a great event it was. It was huge. Just from my eyes, just in a completely different place in my career. The sport, the UFC, has obviously grown tremendously. We've had some awesome stars help us get there, guys like Brock Lesnar, Conor McGregor, and Ronda Rousey really helped catapult us into just I think we're pretty mainstream these days. Just the growth has been tremendous. I don't even know how to answer this question. The growth has just been tremendous, and I'm so honored to have been on that card and to be in this completely different place in my career from this card. And yes, it's an exciting time for the UFC.
Do you still feel you could be ready for New York if things go well?
Absolutely. That's totally my plan. My plan is to win back my life, my title that I've never lost. Win back my life, win back my title, defend my belt at Madison Square Garden on November 12th. It's on my vision board at my house. Totally in my plan. I'm going to do that. The question will be, will I be main event or not? I'm really hoping I will be.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right.
Dave, I'll turn the conference back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the four gentlemen who joined us on the call today. UFC 200 and International Fight Week. It is almost here. One final note before we go. UFC 200, It's Time, a 60-minute TV special, premieres this Sunday at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific on Fox Sports 1. It chronicles all the title fights, plus Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt again. UFC 200 premieres July 3rd, 10:30 in the East, 7:30 in the West. See everybody in Las Vegas next week for UFC 200. Thanks, guys.
That will conclude today's conference. Thank you all for joining us.